Welcome to Open Studio Podcast, space for lettering artists, illustrators, and creatives who are determined to thrive in their passion. I'm Martina Flor, and I've been through the ups and downs of building a successful creative business. From struggling to make ends meet to achieving my dream of becoming an award-winning lettering designer, I've learned valuable lessons along the way. Now, I'm here to share those lessons, strategies, and tips so that your journey can be smoother. Whether you're looking to turn your passion into a career or want insights to boost your creative business, this podcast is your guide. Join me on the Open Studio Podcast and let's make your creative dreams a reality. Hello and welcome to another episode of Open Studio. I'm your host, Martina Flor, and today we are diving into the second part of a special series that is about the advice I would give to my beginner self. So if you haven't listened to the first part, check out episode 159, that's the previous episode to this one, and dive into the first pieces of advice that I would give myself. This series that I'm recording right now is leading up to the launch of my upcoming book, Make It, which is coming out on July 30th. I'm really happy to finally bring this book to life. It's been in the works for over 2 years, and it really contains all the things that I have learned throughout the plus 13 years of experience running a creative business and making a living as a lettering artist. So all the bits of strategies and tactics and things that I share in this podcast are condensed in a book. And this book is very special because it is not just about the tips and tricks and all the things that the book provides, which are insights into how can you turn your creative skill into a business, but also it tells the story of Mary, which is a creative that is working at a job she doesn't like, and she dreams of becoming a professional graphic artist. The book is about the story of how she accomplishes that and how she navigates the creative industries, finding clients, promoting herself, and she does all of this with the help of a mentor, which is called the artist in the book. And yes, the mentor, through conversations between the mentor and Mary, you will gain a lot of valuable insights into how can you build a creative business around your creative skills. So I hope that you will find it valuable. I know that many of the advanced readers who had access to the book before it's out, they gave me amazing feedback about the book, and I'm really happy about the feedback that I received these weeks, because publishing a book, something that requires so much work and time and investing yourself into it, it is a big undertaking. And in the process of bringing it to life, of publishing it, there's a lot of self-doubt, and there's a lot of moments where I thought, well, is this really valuable? Is this really worth the work? Are people gonna like it? Are people gonna read it? And having those first advanced readers giving me feedback about the book really gave me that extra power, that extra validation that I needed to keep on going. So I want to publicly thank them for giving me that positive feedback, because this is the thing that have kept me going throughout the last months and the last weeks. So it's coming out on July 13th, and it's going to be in a beautiful event. It is not your regular book presentation event where I read the book and you ask me questions. No, this is going to be an event that is educative, that is going to help you move forward towards your goal of launching your own creative business. And you can sign up. It's a free event, and there's going to be surprises in the event. So sign up to the launch event on martinaflor.com/new book. We're going to add this to the show note, but make sure you sign up for this launch event because it's going to be beautiful. And my team and I are working really hard on making this an unforgettable experience for everybody. So, all right, let's dive into today's episode. So here's one advice that I would give my beginner self as I started. Establish a repeatable process that you can follow to create your work with a clear goal for each step. This approach prevents you from reinventing the wheel every time you sit down to work. So when I started, I thought that every new project needed to be unique and surprising. So every new client assignment brought a lot of joy, but also a lot of anxiety because I didn't know what the outcome would be. I didn't know where to start. And later I realized that having a predictable series of steps that I would follow to create my work would give me predictability, would reduce my anxiety. So I knew where I was starting. I knew what were the set of steps that I would follow to create the work. So I knew where I was starting. I knew where I was heading. And the magic happened really in between. And nowadays, this is the process that I share with my students in my program. So in the lettering seminar, my signature program, I share with them a step-by-step process that they can follow to create a lettering piece. And this gives them a sense of control because they don't have to come up with a process. They just need to follow the steps. And each step is supposed to accomplish one goal. Each step is there so that you can move on to the next step. Each step gives you enough information, helps you solve certain problems so that you can move on to the next step and solve certain other problems. But having this repeatable process makes the whole process a lot more predictable and a lot more joyful because, as I said, the magic happens in between. The work that you create is different every time, but the process is the same. The process is repeatable. And knowing the steps also allowed me to communicate the process to my clients, which really provided predictability and it helped them understand what was coming next. And this was really essential for them to feel part of the process. And this was really important for them to know what was coming next. So because I was informing them about the next steps, they felt I was in control, and they didn't need they didn't have the need of micromanaging and kind of telling me what they want to receive next, because I was a step ahead of them and telling them, okay, next week I'm gonna send you this. Once you approve that, I'm gonna do this. So they knew what the process was about. They felt part of the process, and they trusted me because I was confident in the process I was following. So think about your process for creating work, for creating your artwork, your designs, your illustrations, and communicate it everywhere. Communicate it on your website, communicate it on your portfolio, communicate it on social media so that clients know what working with you is like.
Hey, I have great news for you. My new book is coming up and you are invited. Sign up to receive updates about my upcoming book launch event, which is going to be amazing. There will be beautiful surprises, so you won't want to miss this. Those who are on the list will get updates on special perks around the book launch that will be available for a limited time. Curious? Sign up now. Go to martinaflor.com/new book and sign up to receive the updates. Again, go to martinaflor.com/new book and sign up to receive the updates. Now back to the show.
Understand your financial needs. Before determining your rates, it is crucial that you establish a clear understanding of your financial needs. This is a big one because many creatives navigate their freelance practice without knowing how much they need to sustain their living. Isn't that crazy? But you will be surprised. I work with hundreds of creatives every year through my programs, through my coaching program, and many of them are not really aware of how much they need to be making to sustain their living. So their pricing is based on nothing. And sometimes they are even overworking because they feel that they are supposed to be generating income where they actually don't know that the income they are generating is more than enough for sustaining their living. So it works both ways. It works for you knowing or understanding how much you need to make to sustain your living so that you charge accordingly. But also it works in the other direction to kind of slow down, because if you're working more than you actually need and you do it unconsciously, you do it just because you're supposed to be working, understanding how much you need to be making and adjusting your work time to that gives you all that free time to use it in something else, because you are already sustaining your living, and therefore you can use that time, instead of overworking, you can use that time to do other things that matter to you in life. So first you need to understand your numbers. So how much you need to be making to sustain your living. You need to make a list of, okay, how much it is that I need, health insurance, rent, food, entertainment, all of this. You need to understand how much you need to be making to sustain your living. And once you establish that, you can calculate how many projects you need to secure per month and at what rate. So you can say, okay, if this is what I need to be making per month, then I would need to secure, I don't know. So let's say that to sustain your living, you need between $9,000 to $10,000 per month. Just throw a number out there. Now, to sustain that living or your lifestyle, you will need to secure 2 projects of $5,000 per month, or 3 projects of $3,000 per month, or 5 projects of $2,000 per month. But you need to understand how much you need to be making so that you can budget for that and you can understand, okay, how many projects do I need to secure? How much client outreach do I need to be doing in order to secure that amount of income per month? This approach helps you maintain control over your efforts and energy, especially when you're starting and taking risks. So especially when you are starting, you need to understand, okay, I need this much to sustain my living. And therefore, I need to put this much effort to acquire new clients and new work. So knowing your required income really provides you peace of mind and gives you that predictability, gives you that, okay, I understand how much I need to be doing, and I'm not just throwing pricing or fees out of my head. They are based on real needs. They are based on real figures, and therefore I can set my pricing accordingly. Advice number 3 that I would give my beginner self: pursue a fulfilling solo business. And this sounds like really obvious, but you need to strive for a solo business that allows you to pursue work you love and supports the lifestyle you want. And as I said, this sounds very simple, very basic, but many of us undermine this, and we end up building a business that makes us overwork, makes us burn out, and where we are working for projects that don't align with what we want to create. So ultimately, your solo business should be, because you're going to invest all this time into building something that is your own, your solo business should be the most fulfilling job you could imagine. So if you're going to invest the time, the effort, the mind into building something that is your own, it should be the most fulfilling job that you could imagine. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean that all of the work that you would do in your freelance business, in your solo business, is going to be amazing and beautiful and fun every time. Sometimes you will have to do work that is not necessarily fulfilling, is not fun, but it is necessary. It is necessary to create and maintain that container that I call the business the container where you can create the work you love. So maintaining that container involves some of the work you don't love. So in the very beginning, you will be the one doing all of the work you love, the work you don't love, but you will slowly work your way towards building a fulfilling solo business, a business where you will be doing the most fulfilling job you could imagine. Because if you're going to invest time into this, better be worth it. And in the very beginning, I thought I was already lucky for being able to do work I enjoy. So I worked around the clock. I really worked 50 hours per week. But that's not the life I wanted. I wanted time to spend with my kids and friends, and I do other things in life other than my artwork. I will always recommend get clear about the kind of life you want, and not just only about the kind of work you want to create, but also the kind of life you want to have. Yes, you want to create a certain type of work, okay? You want to use your creative skill, create beautiful artwork, to do beautiful designs, to do work that is really fulfilling. But at the same time, that's just a part of life. There's other parts of life that have to do with having time to spend with family and friends, or having time to exercise and work out and take care of yourself. When you think about what this fulfilling solo business is going to look like, not only think about what is the kind of work you want to be creating and for whom, but also what is the kind of life you want to be sustaining for yourself. What is the kind of life you want your business to support for you. Never forget about that side. Advice number 4 that I would give my beginner self: balance marketing and sales with fulfillment. That is, just like any other company, your solo business needs 2 essential pillars: marketing and sales, and fulfillment, which is the delivery of the product. In your case, it's going to be creative work, artwork, creative project. In the beginning, I used to say, if I build it, they will come. And I can imagine that you have believed this to be true in the past. I know I did. And I thought that if I created really good work, people would notice and they would come hire me and they would come after my services and my artwork. But this is a trap many creatives fall into. And to be successful as a creative and get hired to do the work you love, you need to go after opportunities. You need to sell your work. And I think that as creatives, we often fall in this trap because it gives us an excuse to stay within the creative zone. It gives us an excuse to stay within the zone of doing the work we love, which is, the artwork, the design. And whereas this is a very essential part of our business, there are other very important parts that keep our business running, like sales and marketing, promoting ourselves. And this is a very important part of running a business that you need to be doing as well. At least in the very beginning, as I said before. In the very beginning, you will be that one man, one woman orchestra doing all of the things, the nice things and the not so fun things. But down the road, you can aspire to delegate that onto someone like I did in my own business. And this will free up a lot of time to do more of the work you love, to work more on your genius zone. So your business needs you to create beautiful work. That is fulfillment in your work, creating beautiful work and providing an amazing service to your clients. It's the fulfillment part of the business. This needs to be there, and it's great that you dedicate a lot of time to your craft, but you also need to be marketing your work and your services and selling your work and your services. So you need to do client outreach. And to be honest, if you do client outreach, many freelancers and creatives out there ask me, how can I stand out with my work? And I would say, if you're going to use one strategy to stand out, do client outreach. And you will outperform most freelancers out there and most creatives out there. So if you want to stand out in the crowd, start doing client outreach. Go after the opportunities that you want, and you will already stand out in the crowd of other thousands of freelancers out there. So you will want to not only provide a beautiful service and create great work, but also you need to constantly be acquiring new projects and marketing your services and work. That leads us to the last advice I would give my beginner self, and that is have a vision for your career as a creative. Have a vision for your career as an artist as early as possible. Your vision is your guiding statement for every decision you make. A vision, in a nutshell, is what you want to create in the world and the type of impact you want to have. So without a vision, you're just doing work without meaning. A vision really serves as a filter for everything. It serves as a filter for accepting or declining certain projects, and it also keeps you motivated through the ups and downs of a creative business, because you will have ups and downs, and having a clear vision, knowing why you're doing this in the first place, will give you that goal that will really keep you going through the ups and downs of your business. And this goes to say that being a creative entrepreneur, starting your own business, building that container where you get to do the work you love is such a beautiful project in life. And I can not only speak for my experience at building my own business, and I get a little bit emotional when I speak about this, but I'm also speaking about the experience of helping hundreds of other creatives do the same, and it's something that is really fulfilling. The project of creating that container to do the work you love is big. It's a lot, and it's also work. And giving yourself and your container, your business, a vision is really what gives meaning to all the work that goes into building that. The good news is that you likely already have a vision. You already know what is it that you want to create in the world, what is the impact that you want to do, how this container should look like. So you just need to take time to think about it, put it down on paper, and think what is that vision for yourself and for your career. Trust me, this will help you stay on track. It will help you take decisions in your business. It will help you decide what are the people you should collaborate and work for and with. What are the people you should hire for your business? Why you are doing this in the first place. It will give you, your business, and your work purpose. So there you have it. More pieces of advice that I would give my beginner self that I hope will be useful for yourself, for your beginner self if you're just starting, but also for you if you are an established freelancer, if you have been doing this for a while, but you need a reminder of, what is important? What are the things that you should be paying attention? I think this piece of advice that I have shared with you throughout this episode and the previous one are really pillars of a creative business, and I hope that they will be helpful for you to kind of focus on the things that really matter when it comes to building a thriving business. These lessons have shaped my career, and I hope that they will shape yours. And I also hope that my book, Make It, that is coming out on July 13th, is gonna be also very useful, and it's gonna help you shape your creative business and your career as a creative artist, illustrator, lettering artist, whatever it is that you want to bring to the world. Remember, sign up for my book launch event that is coming up on July 13th. It's going to be a beautiful, educative event that is going to leave you inspired, and there's going to be surprises. So go to martinaflor.com/new book. It is free and it's going to be awesome. So I will see you there. Thank you so much for listening to Open Studio today, and see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.